Hello everybody, this is Tim here again, here another movie review, this time for Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. Now just to start off, I'm a fan of Beavis and Butthead. I watched this show when I was younger, really enjoyed the show. I'm eventually going to buy like the whole box set of the show to get the complete collection because I do really enjoy the show. I just watched this movie today. Yesterday I watched Beavis and Butthead Do America because I kind of wanted a refresher with that one because it had been forever since I've seen that one. Even though I am a fan of the franchise, it has been a long time since I've seen the movie, the theatrical film. Beavis and Butthead Do America I actually really enjoy. It's not an absolutely perfect movie. There are some scenes in it that probably could have been cut out, but overall it is a great 4 out of 4 star for me. Time. This one, Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe, I would give it a solid 3.5. This is a pretty good movie. It is worth watching. If you're a Beavis and Butthead fan, you will have a good time. In terms of the plot, you got Beavis and Butthead who I mean, it's a comedy and it's a Beavis and Butthead movie. You're not going to get any kind of like really amazing plot here. The plot is actually kind of overly intricate in some places, despite the fact it doesn't really need to be. Like Beavis and Butthead just like screw up at school or whatever and cause a fire and destroy the science fair, and the judge decides to like send him to space camp because he wants to kind of like, you know, try to make him better by getting to learn and everything. He's like, the system has failed you. It's kind of funny. He sends them there, of course, and they end up like they're like messing around with this equipment, having like the shuttle ship thing or whatever, like go up inside the thing over and over, like a masturbation reference or sex reference. The voice acting for Beavis and Butthead is really good here. I will say this: the voice actor for like Beavis, I don't know if it's original people, but he did sound a little older, maybe a little off every now and then. But the guy who played Butthead was great. But for the most part, yeah, they're both great. Um, and so they end up getting like the people who work there suddenly think that they're obviously like experts with the equipment, even though they're really not. And they decide to like hire them to like take them to space and everything, like be on the astronaut team because they think they're so good, not realizing of course they're really stupid. So that is kind of weak. It is one of those misdirection like plot ideas. They go to space, but they end up like destroying everything. Basically, it's a pretty funny scene where they like pull the telescope like towards the sun and look down at it and like burns both their eyes out. That was pretty damn funny. When it comes to a comedy, it's about like the timing of the jokes and how you set up the jokes. Um, of course, the space shuttle gets destroyed, and they gotta like sacrifice two people, and they like volunteer Beavis and Butthead, and they're like outside the ship, and the chick uses like the device to like swing by and hit them and knock them like out into outer space. They fly out in outer space, and eventually they end up like hitting this black hole. And the chick's name is like Serena or whatever in the movie. The animation, I will say, is good in this. It's not great. I prefer like the more old style of Beavis and Butthead and the Beavis and Butthead Do America movie. I would have been fine with just the regular animation coming back. What we get here, though, it is good. They go through like a black hole, which is pretty much like an Einstein-Rosen bridge type thing. That they, it's a portal, and they kind of act like they're going into like another dimension, but they really, I think they even call it that a couple times, but it's really not. They just basically go to the future to 2022, which is kind of a joke of them coming from like 1998 to, I guess, from the last movie that they were in, or the last time they appeared in Beavis and Butthead Do America, which they actually talk about at the beginning of this, which is pretty funny. And they get shot into the future, basically. And they're there, and that Serena chick is there, and she thinks they're there to, like, destroy her reputation and all that. Um, but of course, they're not. They just think that she really wants to score with them. That's the big joke. And that's kind of the way she keeps Beavis and Butthead simple, because they just want to score and all that. You got these two alien versions of them who come from like an alternate dimension, you know. So you would think that maybe they would like explore the multiverse because it's called Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe, but they kind of keep it pretty simple. But at the same time, they throw in some intricate stuff, like where the alien, like alternate universe versions of Beavis and Butthead are like, you guys have to go back to the portal, back to your own time, otherwise the galaxy will be destroyed. But of course, at the end, like this one dude who's working with the Serena woman or whatever, he gets like knocked into the thing or flies to the portal, and it corrects itself. And like, whoops, I guess we were wrong. So that plot kind of goes nowhere. So in a way, it's kind of weak, but at the same time, it's also kind of funny at the same time to see like alien smart versions of Beavis and Butthead or smarter versions. There's a hilarious scene in this where they go to like a college campus and they walk in there and there's like this whole lecture from this woman or whatever on like gender politics and everything, like a joke about liberals. And they walk in there and like, hey, any of you sluts want to come with us to the house? We're trying to like bang this Serena chick. It's pretty damn funny. And they start teaching them about white privilege and all that, and, like giving them speeches. And Beavis and Butthead are like, whoa, we have white privilege? And then they actually like go through the cafeteria line at the college and just like take all the food. And they're like, sorry, this is what we were taught, sir. We're white. We have white privilege. And they just take everything and they go outside. And they're like, there's a police car there. And like, hey, he's like, hey, Beavis, it's still the police car. And he's like, Butthead, that's a cop car. And he's like, doesn't matter. We have white privilege. They won't pull us over. We're white. and of course they steal the vehicle, and then they do get pulled over. That was pretty damn funny. They go to jail, and of course you get Beavis like breaks into this dude's stash of pills and takes them all. He does the cornholio gag where he puts his shirt over his head. It's funny callback, you got to bring that in. You have to, no matter what Beavis and Butthead property you're doing. You get to the end, they go back to like their old house. You got a part in the movie where Beavis and Butthead kind of separate because Beavis actually started to fall in love with the woman. It's kind of an interesting dynamic. And of course, they become friends again simply over just like laughing at a joke about anus or whatever, which is typical Beavis and Butthead. They get back together at their house and everything, and Beavis is like, well, the woman finally realizes that, of course, they're not trying to ruin her career or anything. They're just really horny teenagers, which is kind of dumb. The fact that, she's that stupid. I mean, other people should kind of be smarter than Beavis and Butthead in this franchise, but she's kind of just as dumb if she actually thought that these two were trying to, like, ruin her career and they didn't just want to get laid. I mean, it's pretty obvious what these guys want in the movie. But, so she realizes that. She decides, like, not to kill him. And then Beavis is like getting ready to profess his love to her, and it's a big emotional scene. And then like the alien Beavis comes up, and he's talking about, I know I'm in love with you, and I have like a 10-inch slong, which was kind of funny, a really large slong or whatever he says. And he like takes her off into the alternate dimension, which was pretty funny. And so later on at the end, they're like cheering for him and everything. All the other Beavis and Buttheads are from like alternate universes, like because he's the first and only Beavis to ever score, which is kind of funny, but at the same time, you do feel a little sorry for the regular Beavis character because he's really serious. And, as dumb as he is, he's actually being truthful, to what he feels when it comes to this chick. So you do kind of feel a little sorry for him. But at the end, though, of course, he's happy. They got their TV back, except now it's like a big flat screen. It's kind of cool, and they're just sitting there back to being regular Beavis and Butthead. That's pretty much how it ends. So yeah, altogether, pretty good movie. It's not as good as Beavis and Butthead Do America. The more like cosmic plot is kind of loses you a little bit with all the sci-fi stuff. Some of the sci-fi stuff they add in. At the same time, I don't think they took full advantage of the whole sci-fi stuff in here. I think they could have done more with it. Like it's called Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. If you really want to have fun with that, once they went out into space, you didn't even really need this whole Serena plot and all that. You could just had them, or you could have kept it and like had them like go through the black hole or whatever and end up just like different universes over and over, like it was some kind of schism or something, in space-time continuum or whatever. It had like the alien Beavis and Butthead trying to help them get out of there. They were just like flying to like different, alternate realities, like Multiverse of Madness or whatever with Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange 2, and just like had them interacting with different worlds and stuff, and like different versions of Serena maybe and stuff like that. Like you could have done more with this plot. So eventually they get back to either their own time or they end up. Or yeah, I guess they get back to their own time or whatever back in the 90s. And then maybe after they meet with Serena and do the whole ending or whatever where Beavis and them doesn't get with her, then you can just have them like, still in the time thing and they fly back to, or still in the black hole and then they get shot to 2022 or whatever. And it's just like ending on a joke. That could have flown better, I think, maybe. I do think they should have explored like all the alternate universe stuff and all that more. I think that was a bit of a missed opportunity. The way the film starts out is actually pretty funny as well, where they're like Beavis and Butthead are like flying spaceships and all that, and they end up like crashing into the Beavis and Butthead opening logo thing. Yeah, altogether, I'd give this a solid 3.5 out of 4. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good Beavis and Butthead movie. It's fun. It's worth watching if you're a Beavis and Butthead fan. It's not quite as good as Beavis and Butthead Do America, but it's close, and it's pretty good entertainment. I hope this gets a DVD release, a streaming movie, or a Blu-ray release, or both, I guess. And because I would pick this up, I would buy it. I'd pay full price for it. It's an entertaining movie if you're a fan of the characters. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again.